Yo, I wanted to film something real quick because, I understand everyone's really interested in the wild world of CLA and eco and all the fun stuff, but some of us just aren't ready to start. We run our school, we don't want to have a sudden change in our students. We're worried, what if everyone gasses out? What if they die? What if I haven't read all the books and I do eco wrong? I'll walk you through sort of how I started implementing. Of course, now I'm all the way, eco for life, blah, 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 blah. But you got to start somewhere. So this is the way that I started. And maybe some of you who are running more of a traditional format can start. So first thing I started with is I had to get better at just general coaching stuff. And what I mean by that is I had to really think about the language I was using when I communicated. Because one thing you'll hear a lot with everyone who's sort of in the eco-constraint space is how important language is. So that started with me learning to be a lot more simple in my language, more direct, and rely a lot more on external cues. So really what this meant is I had to not drown people in details. I had to direct their attention to what was really important. So I had to really choose my slices. So let's just talk about how I did this. Okay, so for example, if I was gonna move of the day, we're working a knee cut. When I started, I would do it really broadly, and I would tell the class, yo, we're gonna do our knee cuts today. We're just gonna start real broad. I'm gonna be here, stuff a foot, block the hip, cut, get upper body control, extract our leg, finish the pass. I really broke the move into like the broadest, simplest steps that I could. And then I just let them go drill. And they were drilling, I think it was like 90 seconds, maybe 3 minutes of just getting reps of that full motion. I told them, yo, this is the broad strokes, the outline that we're going to start with. And then after that, I did sort of what I would consider like a regression style practice. So I said, all right, so we're going to start all the way at the end now. You have your underhook, you have your crossface, or whatever grips you like to use for your knee cut, and just your foot is trapped. Your goal is going to be to get your leg out and stabilize that pin. Okay, bottom player is going to, of course, try and either get you into their guard, or if you do free the leg, they're going to see if they can run to their knees. Okay, let's play with that. And then I would send them off and they'd do a 2-minute round each playing from that slice. Then I would back them up to where we're past the knee shield. We haven't secured upper body control yet though. So we still got to get some upper body control going. Maybe we're against frames. Exact same thing. I put them in that slice and then we would play. And then we went back, boom. Now we're sort of in the cut, but there's a knee shield in the way, and we just gotta clear the knee shield to finally get hip to hip. Played that again, little 2-minute slice. Boom, and we went there, and then lastly, we're starting all the way out in sort of a headquarters situation. I have no idea why that happened behind me. But we're starting all the way out with a little headquarters situation. And we're trying to get just to that next stage, right? So really simple progression, nothing fancy, exactly what you need, right? So that was how I would do it with like a single technique. And it was good because there were a lot of breaks for my guys, right? Every time I introduced a new scenario, we started really identify the start point, what I want to focus on, just like you will eventually do. You want to give the task focus, but really broke it up. So the work time was still pretty good. My talk time was still pretty low. I have no idea why that effect happens, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so like another example of how I might do it. So I talked about a single technique. I gave you the cool thumbs up fireworks. I edited that out. We're good now. But for something else, so I wanted to work on guard retention with my students. Obviously, when you're playing constraints, you can really set up a lot of really good games and activities around that, but that might be a little much out the gate. It might be hard for you to feel comfortable doing that. So I literally just did the following, okay, is I'd have the top player and we were drilling. So I'd be like, yo, if a person does like a outside pass on you, this is how you high leg, get them back square. Send them off drill. Yo, if someone reaches for a double understack, this is how you fight the hands, pummel your feet back in, send them off drill. Did the same thing with a knee cut, did the same thing with bouncing someone out of headquarters. And so they got their little drilling time, partner A, partner B, whatever. Now to make it live, I did essentially where top player, okay, you're in front of their guard, you can only spam those 4 things, and your goal is to never complete the pass, but to cardio tap your partner in terms of making them keep up and keep that guard going, right? So it's a really easy way that I could make something like guard retention pretty live, really make it representative because it's random, they don't know what pass is coming, etc. The pace was pretty good. But I stacked it into sort of a traditional way of showing and drilling technique and sort of making that fit in there. And, people really liked it. It worked well because, I'm getting that work rate up. I'm getting them focused on what they need to do without burning them out, killing them from the jump, right? So this was sort of how I started to bridge the gap. And that's just like 2 really quick examples of how you can do it, right? I think the big thing to take away is if you do want to start moving this way and you're a little apprehensive about one, hey, I feel like I have to show technique because I'm like the school owner and that's what they pay for, etc. Totally get it. This sort of allows you to do that because you're showing the broad technique, but you're learning to be simpler in what you share and letting the doing give them the details, right? It's also great if your other concern is, man, can I really quickly jump to this much live work in a session? You don't really have to, right? When you do this sort of staggered approach, like I was talking about the knee slice, they get those breaks, so it's not that heavy. And it doesn't mean your whole class has to be like that too, right? You can do it for just the one core technique of the day that you really want them to take away. But yeah, I just really wanted to throw something out there for people who are trying to dabble, those who are interested in starting to use more modern coaching sort of methodologies and ideas in their training. This might be a place to start. And I know, you're not supposed to hedge the line, ooh, IP over here, eco over here. I think sometimes though, we can just focus on, can we raise the level of coaching? Can we raise the level of experience for our students and sort of give them that? And I think this is a great way to do it. It's exactly what I did with my program. Even before I really heard of people going all the way, this is the way we had started to move to get the room more live, to get people reading and reacting and responding to what's actually happening, because I realized that's where the skill was. Play with these ideas. They're really simple. You don't have to go all in from the jump if you don't feel comfortable or you think maybe your students aren't comfortable. And really, sometimes it's hard to go all in from the jump. Now of course it's easy, there's lots of resources, you can pull videos everywhere, but maybe this helps you bridge the gap. If it did, let me know. I'm always down to help, always looking for feedback. Have a good one. Peace.